Lessons with the Evoke Group. This week we're going to be talking about a really cool topic that we feel really strongly about. We're going to talk about effective digital marketing using video on YouTube for a small business. This is a topic that we touch on with a lot of our clients, and we tend to have some of these Baptist preacher moments, and we're blowing people's minds whenever we show them what we're about to go over here. So we felt this was a really great opportunity for us to share this with our local community in mid-Missouri and show you guys how a lot of you are missing out on a really viable marketing opportunity right here in your backyard. So first of all, I want to talk about all the different areas that come into play whenever you decide that you want to use video to market your business online. A lot of people don't realize how many moving parts come into play, and what we're seeing as a creative agency is we're seeing a lot of people producing pieces that are really good, but they're not following through with the entire platform. So we're going to get started here by talking about video assets. Clearly, it all starts with having a video to advertise. In that regard, what we try to focus on when working with clients is, rather than assuming that you know what people want to be told or hear about your company, or assuming that you know what your best message is, you should define 3 messages instead of 1. First of all, professional video production can be fairly expensive, and a lot of times by incorporating multiple videos into a shoot, you can decrease the overall cost. So that's something we really focus on, is making it an affordable endeavor for a business. And we start by defining 3 90-second videos that we would shoot to be assets on the website that would lead to higher site visit duration. Now that's going to cause a positive SEO impact whenever people are on your site and spending time watching these actual videos. Outside of that, you can take the same exact 3 assets and re-edit them to 30-second, and sometimes even have a third column here of 15-second ads. So altogether, you should start with at least 6 assets in our opinion. And what that allows you to do is deliver a really well-structured, tailored campaign to different target markets that make everyone feel like you're speaking directly to them and you're on a topic that they're familiar with. So outside of that, once you have the video assets, the next step is to make modifications to your website that are going to improve the conversion of this ad campaign whenever people are engaging with it actually. So that starts with A/B split testing. Now, if you're not familiar with A/B split testing, the concept here is to define landing pages whenever someone does watch this ad and they engage with it, what happens next. So let's say I'm on YouTube and I'm looking up an MU football highlight from last weekend's game. I get served an ad from a local business and I'm actively on my computer. Instead of TV, where someone has to get out their phone or get on their computer to follow up with the business and look into the service, I can click right there and be taken to a page about that topic. So the idea here is that you place the 30-second ad on YouTube. That is going to run, and that's going to drive people over here to a landing page. When someone lands on that landing page, this 90-second video is really going to be the video that's embedded there. So then what you're doing is you're creating a framework where you have a 30-second, not too long of an interruption to someone's day, where you give them an opportunity to choose to engage. If they engage, you're bringing them to a little bit longer piece of content. They're engaging with your business for a little bit longer. And often what we see is that people watch these 90-second videos to completion, and that leads to a really high site visit duration on these landing pages. Now, we're talking about A/B split testing. So the idea behind that is that, as you can see, we drew 3 really basic differentiated layouts that you could use for some bullet points, the video, and then some sort of conversion form for people to give you information and allow you to follow up and hopefully convert them into a client and do some business. Now, in that regard, the way we've set this up here, I would recommend actually having 9 of these pages, as in you would have all 3 of these layouts for all 3 of your assets. And then that allows you to do some really cool things when you get over here to the final stage and you're actually doing some digital advertising. So now we're going to transition and get into the digital advertising side of things. Now you've got your landing pages all built out, you've got your videos placed, you're ready to start driving clients through this funnel that you've created. So what's next? The next step here, the thing that we like to point out is that with digital advertising, there's really two clear lines of where your money has to go. You have to pay for management of the campaign. So ultimately somebody has to set the demographics. So you're gonna go through and you're gonna build out all your different demographics in your target markets that you wanna reach. You're going to split test with having 3 ads of the 30-second clip going to 3 different pages so that in the end you can see which one is leading to your highest conversion rate. You're going to test varying copy. So in addition, you're gonna have different headlines and different descriptions of the video content that people are watching. And that way you can evaluate how they're engaging with that content in reference to sidebar placements or suggested videos outside of the pre-roll forced model. So then we're gonna talk about remarketing. Remarketing, just on a quick side note, this is a whole topic in itself, but remarketing is an opportunity where when someone has visited one of these landing pages, we're able to tag their IP address and then follow them around the internet for the next 30 to 60 days or whatever time frame you want to set to continue serving ads to those people. Now, as of 2011, already 4 years ago, people see on average at least 7,000 messages a day. So back then even, the average number of times or the frequency that someone needed to see your placement to have top of mind awareness was already at 7.8. So foreseeably, that's a lot higher. I haven't looked into recent metrics, but right now you can assume that you need to be very, very present in a market or in a certain space in order for people to remember your business whenever they need to hire you for your services. So outside of that, the last part is really, really important. I want to talk on this for just a second. In relation to management, you have to be reporting what's happening with these ads. The whole point of investing all the time on the front end of having these various video assets to use and all these different landing pages is so that at the end of the road, you have an opportunity to evaluate and say, this one performed at 46% and these ones performed at 25%. So the idea is that over time, you're improving. What we're seeing on the other side of this scale is that a lot of local businesses are sticking to their traditional format mediums of radio, print, and television out of fear of making any kind of transitions. But the problem with that is over these last couple years, new rules are being defined as far as how you can market your business and what you can track about your ideal client and the decisions that you can make to change your business for the better. And if you're not abiding by these new rules, you will be left behind with your competitors leading the marketplace if they are doing YouTube advertising. So in that regard, now we're going to transition and talk about placements. So your money's split in 2 areas when it comes to digital advertising. Again, managing the ads, and then you have to pay for the physical placements of the ads, just like TV and radio and other traditional formats. In that regard, there's a couple different areas of placements. So on YouTube specifically, you have an opportunity for in-feed ads. Now, if someone searches a certain topic and you're targeting that topic through the settings that you set through your management, then you can have your video show up as a suggested video in the feed of videos that are being served. Let's say we're running an ad for an orthopedic clinic. Those ads, we might be able to target knee brace or knee wrap techniques on YouTube. And then whenever someone's looking up for some methods to decrease the pain that they're having in their knee, maybe we're serving them an ad about orthopedic knee braces from a certain client, and then they have an option to watch that video. In addition, the most profitable and most common form that you're gonna see is pre-roll placements. And this is the typical ad. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it. When you look up a video and then it starts to play an ad and you have to wait 5 seconds before you can click off of that ad. And then you have the little skip ad button that shows up off to the side. in that regard, pre-roll is a very common format, and this is a really great way to develop brand representation in a certain market. Because the beauty of YouTube is, in comparison to TV, where you're paying the same price regardless of who watched it or how engaged they were, on YouTube, you're only paying for the runtime that someone engages with your video. So every time someone clicks that skip ad button, that's at least a 5-second opportunity to build some brand awareness and get your message out there and have people be aware of your business. So that is a great opportunity, and it's really affordable, and we're seeing some really crazy metrics here in mid-Missouri as far as how cheap that can actually be per view. So outside of that, there's also suggested videos. Now these are gonna be sponsored videos that show up in the sidebar on YouTube whenever you're watching videos in your feed, and then you have some other suggested videos along the side. This would be a suggested video at the top. Now, in relation to all of these things, there's one really important topic in relation to placements as well, and that would be how you're actually bidding on these placements. Now, AdWords or YouTube advertising through AdWords essentially works like a stock market. And in that regard, you have other companies bidding for certain topics and for certain placements in a certain space to a certain demographic. The amount of money that your competition is willing to pay for those placements is ultimately going to dictate what that price is. So there's two pricing models. There's cost per view, CPV, or CPM, cost per thousand. What we're seeing is we're getting much better metrics in the mid-Missouri area using CPV because there is such a small amount of ads being served in this market. Now, we've kind of covered quite a bit here in relation to video assets, making changes to your website, managing the ads through digital advertising. There's a lot of moving parts here, like we said. Now, the opportunity that we're trying to get out and get the word out here in mid-Missouri is that when we look at St. Louis and dealing with our clients in St. Louis, we're paying about 65 cents per view in the St. Louis market. In Kansas City, when we work with clients in that market, we're paying about 75 to 85 cents per view. Now again, these are all valuable views because people are engaged and able to click and do business immediately, which is something you don't have on TV or radio or any of these other traditional mediums. Now, what we're seeing here in Columbia, where we're located, is literally between 11 and 25 cents. It is dirt cheap to be doing YouTube advertising in mid-Missouri because the marketing culture in our immediate community is about 6 years behind the times. In 2008, you were paying 25 cents a view in St. Louis. So we're that far behind here, and because nobody is leveraging this new technology, it's very affordable when you get to the digital advertising side of things to be placing videos online in front of viable customers. And our clients that are doing this are seeing a phenomenal return on investment. And to kind of close and end cap the video, what I would say is make sure as a business owner that you don't get caught in a loophole where you're investing a whole bunch of money here, but you don't have all these other pieces worked out. We're seeing a lot of instances where people may have great videos, but how good is that video really if it's only got 200 views? It's not making any money for your business. And then if you're not driving people to landing pages and you're just sending them to your home page, it's too confusing as a user. You just talked about a niche product or service, and now you took them to the home page where you have everything. That doesn't work. You need to have a very directed funnel that allows people to clearly engage with what they need. And then outside of that, the digital advertising side of things is just a whole other beast in itself. So what we're really excited about is our ability as a company in a small creative agency to do the whole thing. We can do all 3 of these parts or all 4 of these parts and report on it, and then go back and make changes and then maybe produce new assets based on the results of our campaign. So over time, the beauty of implementing video advertising into your business is that over time, you're constantly refining it, and the main thing that everyone's concerned about is your acquisition cost. How much money does it cost to gain a client? And that is what can be defined when you're using all of this process that we've just explained. And that is a very, very valuable thing that you cannot get from radio and TV and print. So in closing, the final statement I would make as well is that out of all of our existing clients that we do this for, 85% have seen a return on investment within the first 2 to 3 months of implementing video advertising into their marketing efforts. So right now, it's October 23rd. It's the time of year to be planning out what you're gonna be doing in 2016. So we highly recommend that now's a good time to get in contact with us, and we'd be happy to work with you to put together a solid plan of how to implement these kind of strategies into your marketing activities next year. That's all for this week's learned lesson with the Evoke Group. One more time, I'm Adam Weber. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you have any questions on the topics we've discussed today, feel free to shoot me an email at adam@theevokegroup. Thanks.